Hi, welcome to my channel, and it's Sunday, so I promised you guys to have a weekly video. So tonight I want to share the topics that have been very crucial for one of my friends. She is Indian and she was having trouble finding a job here in Germany, so she basically asked me two questions that have been very crucial for her. I think the first question would be how to answer the question, are you eligible to work in Germany or maybe in the European Union, or do you need visa sponsorship in the future? And the second question would be if they were to give you maybe a job offer, how long does it take to get the paperwork done? So that's the two topics I want to touch upon for today's topic. And so let's go ahead to the first question: how to answer the question? Are you eligible to work in Germany or in the European Union per se? I was if you are a student who has been enrolled in an higher education in Germany or maybe in France as well, you could answer this question differently. So I will tell you why. Because in Germany and also in France, they have a special visa called a job seekers visa. In France, I think it's called APS, and in Germany, I don't know how it's called in German, but they do exist. I think this kind of visa exists for job seeking purposes, especially when you're about to graduate or you just graduated. So if you I think if you I think if you fall into this category, you can basically answer them, yeah, I am eligible to work in Germany, but that's a really tricky answer, I know. However, you can tell them that you currently hold a visa, maybe a job seeker visa, so all you need is the job offer and the employer sponsorship document from the employers, etc. And then I think this could answer your question. But I have a feeling that a lot of my YouTube visitors, they are not necessarily have, they don't necessarily have an education in European Union or maybe in France, in Germany, etc. They basically graduated in maybe India or maybe in other countries, and they would like to come to Germany for work. So how to do that? I think in this case, the job seekers visa also applies to those who do not have a German education per se. So you really need to go on the I think the embassy's website and check the information out. But since I work in human resources, I can tell you that there are a lot of people. They are basically applying for that, especially from India. They are basically applying for this kind of job seeker visa. I'm not sure how fluent their German could be, but they have done it, and they are here in Germany, and they basically spend 6 months or maybe more than 6 months looking for a job with this job seeker visa. So you can do it as well. And the second question is more about how you could play around the rules a little bit, because if you are applying for a job in France, it's usually the employer who initiates the visa sponsorship process, and then the employee, they can go to the police station to apply for a new work permit or maybe a new resident permit per se. But in Germany, things work differently. I think in Germany they took longer time than France, to be honest. And so basically, my point is, in Germany, you don't necessarily need the employer's sponsorship to work in Germany. So that's the tricky part. So you can basically tell them that in Germany, or you have to deal with the work permits, the resident permit application by yourself as a future employee, and all the employer has to do is basically give you a sponsorship document, which should include your monthly salary, your gross monthly salary, how many holidays do you have, and is this contract a fixed term contract or full-time contract. I think also would this be your first time applying for a work permit, including a regular work permit or a EU blue card, or are you changing your sponsorship? That means you already have an existing work permit, by now you are changing employers, etc. And most importantly, you should include a degree that has been recognized by the German Higher Education Bureau or something like that. So you have to do the check to see whether your university has been recognized, your degree has been recognized, and your major has been recognized. So if you if the three of them done recognized in their website, which is called anabin.org, you basically take a screenshot of those results from the website, and then you can print them out and bring them to your visa appointment. That's it. But you have to tell the employer that they have to really specify the reason why they want to hire you and what does this job do exactly. So the reason why they want to hire you is basically a high-level summary of why they want to hire you. Maybe you have probably studied within this subject for blah blah for how many years, and then you have a degree within this field of your future job, so its equivalent is relevant, etc. And also maybe you have extra knowledge or extra expertise in let's say maybe Windows or maybe Mac OS or maybe Adobe, that is crucial for the job you are going to do in the future. So so just make sure that they fill this kind of information correctly and is job related. So if you want to help them, you can basically say to them that okay, I can also help you with that, etc. You just need to translate those things in German, and then it's the job summary. So it's basically what you will be doing out of this job on a daily basis. So for example, if you're an IT support, you should write IT support, and also maybe you are dealing with some VMware, virtual machine, etc. So just make sure the keywords are there, and then the officers from the foreigners or maybe the visa officer, they could check the documents, etc. So they're basically going to check the JD versus why they are going to hire you, and if you have the qualifications. So your recognized degree university is very crucial because it has to be German recognized, and then it's the job description, and then the reason they want to hire you, and the rest I think you can just fill them out because the answer better than anyone. Yeah, so that's my answer to the two questions. So basically, if you are fortunate enough to be on the offer stage and the HR is asking you this question, you can basically tell them, hey, I don't really need the sponsorship per se, I only need you to send me the sponsorship documents, etc., and then everything could be done. But that doesn't really answer all the questions or maybe all the concerns for the HR, because you have to calculate the the time, the process to do the this kind of application. So in my case, when I applied for my EU blue card, it took me about 3 weeks in total. I know it's really short when you think about the German bureaucracy, etc. But I was lucky enough. However, you have to be aware that the whole process might take 3 months. So